Hey, this is Alan Yip. Welcome to Study and Shine. This video will give you practical and effective tips on making online learning with your children more successful and less painful due to this COVID-19. It's never easy to adapt to a new paradigm, this new way of learning. Yet at the moment, all of us should persist and go through these tough times with some proven tips. So let's jump in. First of all, I think the first step is to educate our children that this is not a vacation. Rather, is self-education with the guidance and resources from school at home. Because this right frame of mind will pave the way for a successful learning journey online. So that is the first step. They need to understand, hey, you know what? This is the normal learning process. Is not now a holiday. Step number 2, routines and schedules are extremely crucial, and therefore set a schedule. Schedule for what? Schedule for learning, self-education as close to the regular school time as possible. I know it's not easy, yet let's do our very best to normalize this process for our children. Get them to wake up at the normal time and start at least the registration with the school and online learning at the regular time as well. Set regular schedule for breaks. I'm surprised that with some of my students, they share with me that they have an online lesson and they have 4 classes every day, 120 minutes per class, and the teacher would not even give them a short break. So I'm very surprised that we need to understand how the human brain works. We can't just sit there for 2 hours without a short break. So with your children, the most effective way is to use the Pomodoro technique. So after 25 minutes, give them a 5-minute break. Get them to get up, stretch, drink water, have some healthy snacks, fruits, again, drink more water, do some stretching, get the blood circulation going, and now go back for the next study or learning session. Another key is to set schedule for their sleep, regular sleep. Just like when they're going to school, you can't really go wild having movie night every night until late, or let your children be loose cannons, like playing video games until 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and then the following morning they'll be so exhausted, they won't have the concentration, they won't have the energy to pursue a productive learning day. So that is step 2. Step number 3, control the electronic monster. What does that mean? All morning, or even including early afternoon in some schools for secondary students, they already spend so much time in front of the screen, and so we have to limit the digital time, digital exposure. That means they need to be on a digital quarantine, so to speak, at home. With my 9-year-old son, normally during school time, he has 1 usage of electronic time or screen time for 25 minutes. And now with the special circumstance, he has 2 usages, 25 minutes each. And we make sure that he's watching something that is meaningful. Yes, he can watch some of the games and National Geographic and so forth, but we are very careful not to expose him to, for example, inappropriate content. And now step 4. With the online learning, we need to mix it with the old-fashioned learning platforms or learning media. And that is, in our case, I like my son to, for example, create his own stories, and he's writing very creatively, like the ant war between red ants and black ants, and he can come up with various characters and different exciting scenes, almost like a mini movie. I like that. So this is what I call high touch. I don't want him to be just looking at the screen all the time. I want him to be off screen and at least practice his writing and use his very vivid imagination. Another thing is, perhaps if you can ask your children's school for some, at least, some exercises that they can hold, they can do, again, rather than just doing it online. For example, mathematics, I like my son to be actually touching the pages and looking at the questions and holding the book, for example. And of course, he can create his own cartoons, and that is very interesting. You can see how comprehensive or elaborate that is. But you know what? With children's rich imagination, they can create really almost like Hollywood movies, and that is the key. Let them use their imagination, let them create. So next time for creative writing, they will be full of ideas. And of course, high touch also includes reading stories with your children and even get them to read out loud certain passages. We know from research that if we get them to read out loud or project their voice, they can increase their self-confidence. So another idea to keep in mind. And of course, drawing, you can see, okay, and they can really have their own voice. They can express their ideas, and even we can teach them a new skill, like in my son's case, mind mapping technique. This is his mind map on his hobbies, his favorite sports, and his favorite computer games and so forth. So try these out. And lastly, just like adults, we have our regular workstation. Well, why not have a dedicated space for our children as well? Make space for them so they have the study desk or learning station. And with these tips, I believe that the online learning journey will be more successful and less painful. And that's my wish for you. Thank you for watching.